Hello horror fans and welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos, the only place on the internet that you can find scares, arcane prayers and demonically charged wares right on the same menu. Let me know what's up guys. As always, I'll be your horror host Jack Finch as we put our feet up, paint our faces in skeleton attire, dance around a pumpkin to a discordant haunting tune and warn you all sincerely about the top 5 scariest horror movies that you shouldn't watch alone this Halloween. Before we begin, we all know the procedure by now. If you're a fan of this video, horror cinema, or just top 5 scary in general, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our horrifying daily uploads. Let's jump on in. Halloween, my favourite time of the year. Let's be honest with ourselves, October is the best month, right? Maybe it's because it's my birthday month, but October just seems to have this awesome vibe that's incredibly specific to its autumnal heart. And what better time to observe the best that horror cinema has to offer than on All Hallows Eve, the witching hour, the time when the portal to the spirit realm is at its weakest and the time where hauntingly appropriate horror films are at their best. Now there's some films that should have made this list, honourable mentions being The Omen, Halloween, The Shining, Friday the 13th, but for the sake of horror cinema education, my aim is to tick 5 films that all represent the various aspects of horror, so you can maintain a well-roundedly terrifying cinematic diet. Kicking off at number 5, The Exorcist. And what a film it is! Widely heralded as the most accurate cinematic depiction of demonic possession, The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, took the cinematic world by storm during the early 70s, so much so that some cinemas provided Exorcist bath bags for certain viewers that found the film too much to handle. Roger Ebert, a critic of critical acclaim, believed that the special effects were so unusually graphic that he slated for the film to be rated X rather than its R rating on release. He gave it a 4 out of 4 star review though, describing it as a raw and painful experience. That's exactly what it is. The Exorcist is a story about Regan, a 12-year-old girl played by the incredible Linda Blair. Long story short, she's possessed by Pazuzu, an ancient demon who exploits and perverses the girl into a bizarre, twisted version of a human. In essence, that's the crux of the film, body horror, and Lancaster Merrin, a veteran Catholic priest who tries to save the poor girl's soul. It's a demonstration of twisted body horror, incredibly appropriate special effects, and a simple plot that gnaws at that dark, hidden place in your soul. Coming in at number 4, Wreck. Please watch the 2007 original Spanish version of this film and not the atrocious US remake. Seriously, please watch this film and just forget about the other one. This is a tried and tested process. If you watch this film alone on Halloween, you will be completely and utterly terrified. In fact, even if you watch this film with a group of friends in the middle of the day, you'll still be completely and utterly terrified. Widely slated as the one handheld found footage modern horror film that actually got it right, Wreck is a Spanish horror co-written and directed by Jaime Balaguero and Paco Plaza. I don't want to spoil a lot for you because going into this film with a fresh set of eyes is the best way to approach it. Let me put it this way though, the last 5 minutes of this film are some of the most suspenseful moments in recent cinematic history. Yeah, the film itself kinda leaves a lot open to interpretation, playing a bit loose and fast with horror tropes, and the wider franchise that it spawned was unremarkable at best. But if you're up for a scare this Halloween, then Wreck is your best bet. Next up at number 3, Hellraiser.
We'll tear your soul apart.
We'll tear your soul apart. Need I say more? One of the most chillingly iconic lines in the glorious era of the 80s horror era. Clive Barker is a colossal visionary of horror and his small budget lo-fi horror masterpiece has spawned 30 years worth of cult following. The less you know about this film the better really, and admittedly it's not for everyone, but its true genius lies in believably haunted character design and one of the most iconically demonic villains of all time. In my opinion, Pinhead. Oh Pinhead, you scary, scary boy. This guy haunted my nightmares as a young fledgling horror fan, not only because of his incredibly vivid design, but because he was the first modern, quiet, unpredictable villain. He wasn't really a villain either, but more of a force of nature. He was the definition of the unknown and unrelenting Cenobites. Take it from me, if you ever find yourself with a weird antique puzzle box, don't solve it, just leave it well alone. Coming in at our number 2 spot, The Thing.
Clear.
If you've seen our recent run of Halloween-based videos, then you'll know just how much of a John Carpenter fan I am. The Thing isn't just one of the best horror films ever made, it's one of the best films ever made. You could purely listen to the soundtrack of this film and still be filled with an eerie, overwhelming sense of dread. The Thing is a film that is more than the sum of its parts and demonstrates itself as the greatest creature feature of all time. Why? Simply because unlike the xenomorph of the Alien franchise or the straightforward narrative of Jaws, we still know absolutely nothing about The Thing, the titular creature of John Carpenter's masterpiece. It's the fear of the unknown. Crazy then that on its release in 1982, it was described as instant junk, a wretched excess, and even proposed as the most hated film of all time. But obviously they were so wrong, because The Thing has spawned a cult following spanning nearly 40 years, and I can think of no better film to watch on Halloween than this one. Maybe except for one, that is. Coming in at our number 1 spot, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, bear with me. Admittedly, The Thing is a better film all in all. On Halloween in particular, nothing will shred your nerves and get your heart racing better than Tobe Hooper's 1974 slasher masterpiece, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my. You like this, Dave?
Why? Well, as you can see from the infamous dinner scene, which is probably on the tamer side of the film's iconic reel, this film is a complete and utter emotional ordeal. It's hard to watch and still holds up to this day as one of the most unnerving cinematic experiences out there. It's a simple equation: the South, a weird family of cannibals, a van full of teenagers, and one of the most iconic killers in horror cinema. If you don't know anything about Leatherface, then look into him, because this character is undoubtedly the stuff of nightmares, partly based on real-life serial killer Ed Gein. The success of the film as a horror masterpiece is partly down to the performance of its cast, a ramshackle bunch of relatively unknown Texan actors who managed to nail down the reality captured within this film. Because in essence, that's exactly why this film is so damn scary. It feels real. It's almost snuff-like in nature and leaves this weird, flat, disgusting feeling in the pit of your stomach. If you're looking for a film to scare the bejesus out of you this Halloween, then look no further than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in today's list. Cheers for sticking around, guys. Make sure to share this video onto your nearest horror friends and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of horror. As per usual, I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos, and until next time, you take it easy.